Briefly about Egyptian sculpture. Think about this, these are 4,000 years old. They are not resin poured into a mould, these are made by teams of expert sculptors. So although there are little variations in it, and somebody pointed out to me the other day, actually you've got the cartouche here, but this cartouche has been sort of carved badly and it's quite squished, so it doesn't look the same. There's things like that that are variations, but that's pretty impressive. And everything about a statue like this is important. Everything you see means something. So what do you want to know? Okay, so we start with the headdress, so you're right. So it actually makes him look like a snake, a particular kind of snake, the cobra, right? The big, rounded head. And then he has the cobra on his head. He is the defender of Egypt, because you know what cobras do? They sit there like that until you get close enough, and then he will strike you, okay? The defender of Egypt. Very good. Anything else? What else do you want to know?
Is that a knife in his belt?
Okay, so yeah, here, if you look at again, it's up the way, so you'll have a dagger stuck into the top of the kilt, so if you really do get close and your guards haven't done their job, you've still got the opportunity to solve the problem. Yep.
Why did the skirt or dress come out like that? How does it come out? Is there a reason?
Okay, well, it's partly because of his pose. You'll notice he's doing this. Okay, so that's, I think, because of the way he needs to be carved as a single piece, the sort of kilt comes out to meet the hands there, but he's in a pose of worship. So probably he is set opposite a statue of his god, okay, something like that. And then the other thing to note, of course, you'll see all the arms are missing, and that is because you think about it in the 1800s-ish, our time, got all the wealthy Europeans going across, to Egypt and Africa and so on, and these things, they're not in a museum. You know, they're not in a building, they're in the sand, they're just lying around, and the locals know this. These people have come with loads of money in their pocket, and if you can hack off the Pharaoh's arm, actually in most cases here they struggled because the fingers and so on would never come away in one piece, but if you can hack off the Pharaoh's arm or a beard, and you'll notice lots of the beards are missing, he doesn't have one, you can sell it to these tourists and you're made for life, you know? And I'll be honest, if I was over there, I'd buy one, you know? There it is. So that's one thing. Yeah, what else do you want to know? Loads more here still. Sorry? The necklace. So that's right, so that's a protective amulet, that's to ward off evil spirits, okay, and bad sort of karma, if you like. Yeah, very good. No, it isn't, except it's a pattern, but what you've got again is two cobras at the bottom, and then you've got like the rays of the sun coming across. Yeah, very good.
Is this what forms the cobra here?
Yes, yes. Yeah. And then, I mean, there are a couple of things to do with his face. So first of all, he's got enormous ears. Again, he may just have had big ears, but more likely, he's just telling us something, which is what? Wherever you are, I'm a good listener, and that's good and bad, right? Yeah, so we're in the most sort of watched and listened to, you know, culture that there ever was, but he's saying to the people, you know, when this statue goes out to some far city, and he's, you know, hundreds of miles away up in the north or whatever, you know, I'm listening to your complaints, and I'm worried about you, but I'm also listening to your plotting and scheming, okay? His nose is missing in each case. Probably that's deliberate damage, because this is not just his picture, his image, but it's his presence. So right now, he thinks we are stood in his presence. So what it means is, if you didn't like him, what you could do is, even though he's gone into his eternity, you can still give him grief. And if you deface him, then it impacts him wherever he is, you know, in eternity. And then the other thing to note is, you'll see his, how would you describe that look? Yeah, some people say he's frowning, but actually if you look around, just look up through the museum, you won't see another Pharaoh sculpture looking like that. They all have this smile, you know, I'm okay, you're okay, everything's okay, because that was Pharaoh's job, to just say everything's fine. But this is the only one, so if you ever see a frowning Pharaoh, you can be sure it'll be this guy, because nobody else took that look. I think you're right, I think he's saying I'm strong, you know, steadfast, I've got it all in control, but nobody else did that. Oh, hang on, there's that one there, look. Here's the Pharaoh in the red, on the plinth there. He's got a frown. Now, do you trust me, or do you want to go over and look at the label? Who is he? He's this guy, right? Okay, you've got to trust me, okay? You've got to build up the relationship of trust today. But the interesting thing to note is, of course, black stone. So he's the Nile Pharaoh, okay? Lower Egypt it's called because it's lower in terms of height. He's the Nile Pharaoh. Red stone, he's the desert Pharaoh, okay? Also, the tall hat tells you he's the desert Pharaoh as well. And if you look at it, you see the guy, the head, the massive head on the plinth there, he is wearing the tall hat of the desert and the short hat of the Nile. Everything's important. He was going to tell you, I'm king of everything, right? I'm not just king of one area, I'm king of the whole thing. And that's really important. So Amenhotep III has both hats on at the same time. Okay? That's probably it for the moment. Anything else?
Did the belt have any significance?
No, other than to carry the cartouche. But this is the way they, in the vast majority of cases, this is how we know who a pharaoh is. If that's not there, or he's wearing some other kind of outfit, then you look elsewhere. Sometimes down the back, or you know, there'll be an identifying mark because that helps him to live. If you know what I mean. The name is all important in Egyptian history. They say, particularly for the pharaohs and nobles and so on, they say you die twice in Egypt. Once when you take your last breath, the second time when people stop saying your name. Okay? That's a really interesting idea. When people stop talking about you, you don't live anymore, which is why you get left out of historical references if they don't like you, because it means nobody talks about you. Okay? So the name is all important. It has to be somewhere. You're never an anonymous pharaoh in that sense. Okay?
Where are there three of them?
Oh, there would be loads, in fact. I mean, these were found in a pit, I believe. They'd be, in a sense, mass-produced, because the king can only be in one place at one time, but his statue, his presence can be everywhere, and so they would churn them out and put them in different places. Now, it's interesting, because they understood something that we perhaps struggle, as Christians, to understand. You know, we're told that Jesus is the very manifestation of God's presence in the world, you know. You think, well, how could God be here and here, you know? But Jesus is the exact representation, the manifestation of God in the world. This is the Egyptian group. This is the manifestation of Pharaoh in your city. Okay? So yeah, there'll be loads. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, 4,000 years ago, it's all made by hand. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's just remarkable, the workmanship.